Okay, so like I said in the previous video, there's two ways to calculate interest, and this is money that your money earns sitting in an investment account, a bank account, something like that. One way is simple compounded interest, and this is interest that's calculated at various points throughout a period of time. So we use words like quarterly, monthly, semi-annually, annually. Okay, words like that that represent different chunks of time. Continuously compounded interest is exactly that. The interest is compounded not even daily, but is continually being compounded. And this is kind of a calculus-y type of concept. Okay, so anytime compounded interest is referred to, and like I said, they'll use words like monthly. Obviously, that happens 12 times a year. Okay, they'll use words like quarterly. Quarterly happens 4 times a year. Semi-annually is twice a year, so on and so forth. All right. But all of these variables here represent something. So let's talk about it real quick. A is, sometimes people will say this stands for the account balance, but what I'm going to refer to this is as the A stands for the amount after some period of growth. Okay. A lot of people like to say this is the account balance, which is fine. I'm going to say that it's the amount, meaning money, after some period of growth. Okay. P is your principal value. And I always forget if it's PLE or PAL. Okay. But this is otherwise the original amount. And you could also, when I say the principal value or the original amount, you could refer to if A is the amount after some period of growth, P is the amount before some period of growth, right? But the principal value is a pretty common term people use to describe what it started out as. Okay. One is obviously the number one. R is the interest rate. Okay. Let's say the percent interest rate as a decimal. That's key here. Okay. You're going to get numbers like 3.1%. Well, 3.1%, we don't put 3.1 here, right? We write 0.031. And that comes down to converting from a percentage to a decimal, right? Divide that number by 100 and you'll get the decimal that you should be using. The N that's here and here, okay, both of these stand for, the N stands for the number of compoundings. Okay, if you want to think of it that way. A different way to think about it is the number of times the interest is calculated. Okay. Now, this is the number that we're looking at up here. So when a compound interest formula problem is talking about some interest being calculated monthly, N would be 12 because that happens N times. And then last but not least, we have T, and T is the amount of time. This is usually given in years. And we'll see an example here in a second. You'll get an idea for how we fill in these certain numbers. Okay, so have this written down somewhere so you can refer to it when these problems start to pop up.